What if everything falling apart in your life right now is actually the best thing that could happen to you? Not later, not eventually, right now. Because most people think collapse means failure. They panic, they try to fix everything, they try to go back to how things were. But what if that's the real mistake? What if the reason you feel lost, confused, disconnected is because the version of you that built your current life can't take you any further? Think about it. The relationships that are ending, the plans that stopped working, the things that once felt certain now feel empty. This isn't random. So let me ask you something, and be honest with yourself. What in your life right now is clearly breaking, but you're still trying to hold together? Pause for a second, because that answer, that uncomfortable truth, is exactly where your transformation begins. Most people will ignore it. They'll distract themselves. They'll scroll, avoid, numb it. But if you're still here, if you're actually willing to look at it, then this video might change the way you see everything. And before we go deeper, I want you to do one thing. Comment the word ready if you're done pretending things are okay and you're ready to understand what's really happening in your life. Because what you're going through right now is not the end. It's the beginning. You just don't recognize it yet. There's a very specific moment in life where everything doesn't just go wrong. It starts coming apart all at once. Not one problem, not one bad day. It's your relationships shifting, your plans failing, your motivation disappearing. And the worst part isn't what's happening outside. It's the feeling that something inside you no longer fits the life you're living. And that's what people don't understand. They think collapse is chaos. They think it's bad luck. They think something is broken. But collapse is not random. It's precise. It targets the parts of your life that were built on autopilot, on expectation, on versions of you that were never fully real. Think about it. How much of your life right now was actually chosen by you, and how much was just continued, patterns you never questioned, decisions you made just to feel safe, paths you followed because they made sense at the time, not because they were true. And now, something is changing. Because your mind can ignore misalignment for a while. Your habits can keep you distracted. But eventually, your life starts reflecting what you've been avoiding. That's when things begin to break, not to destroy you, but to interrupt the version of you that was quietly settling for less. And here's the part most people miss. You don't feel lost because you're going in the wrong direction. You feel lost because the direction you were going is no longer available to you. Something in you already knows it. That's why what used to feel normal now feels empty. That's why what used to make sense now feels forced. That's why you can't go back, even if you wanted to. Because this isn't just your life falling apart. It's your awareness, finally catching up with the truth. At some point, without even realizing it, you started becoming someone just to function, not to express who you really are, but to be accepted, to be understood, to avoid rejection. You adjusted. A little at first, you learned what to say, how to act, what parts of yourself were too much and which parts were safe to show. And slowly, you built an identity around that, a version of you that works, a version of you that fits, a version of you that survives, but not a version of you that is true. And the problem is, if you repeat something long enough, it stops feeling like an act. It starts feeling like you. That's how people spend years, sometimes decades, living a life that looks right from the outside, but feels disconnected on the inside. Because deep down, there's always a quiet voice asking, is this really me? And most people ignore it. They stay busy, they stay distracted, they stay surrounded by noise because silence would force them to hear the answer. But when your life starts falling apart, that voice gets louder. Because the structures that were supporting that identity start collapsing. The job that defined you, the relationship that validated you, the routines that kept you distracted, and suddenly, you don't know who you are without them. That confusion, that discomfort, that's not weakness, that's exposure. For the first time in a long time, you're not playing a role. You're facing the space where your real identity is supposed to exist. And it feels empty, not because there's nothing there, but because it's been buried under years of adaptation. This is why collapse feels so personal, because it's not just your life changing, it's the version of you that depended on that life, losing its foundation. And here's the truth most people avoid. You're not afraid of losing things. You're afraid of not knowing who you are without them. But that's exactly the point. Because until that false identity breaks, you'll never meet who you actually are. There's a phase in this process that almost no one talks about, honestly. It's not just pain. It's not just confusion. It's distance from people, from environments, from the version of life you used to recognize. And it doesn't always happen dramatically. Sometimes you're still surrounded by people, but you feel completely alone. Conversations feel shallow, connections feel off. Things that used to interest you don't anymore, and you can't explain why. So you start questioning yourself. Am I overthinking this? Am I pushing people away? Why does everything feel so disconnected? But this isn't social, it's internal. Because what's really happening is this. You're no longer aligned with the frequency of who you used to be, and that creates distance. Not because something is wrong with you, but because something in you is changing faster than your environment. And here's where most people break. They try to escape this feeling. They go back to old habits, old conversations, old versions of themselves, just to feel normal again. But it doesn't work, because once you become aware, you can't unsee, and trying to go back only makes the disconnection worse. So you're left in this strange space, where you don't fully belong to your old life anymore, but you're not fully grounded in your new one either. That space, that in-between, that's the isolation phase, and it's uncomfortable for a reason, because this is where all external validation disappears. No one is clapping, no one is guiding you, no one is telling you you're on the right path. It's just you and your own awareness, and that's the test. Can you stay here without running? Can you sit in this silence without trying to fill it? Because this phase isn't here to punish you. It's here to remove the noise. So for the first time in your life, you can actually hear yourself. At some point in this process, you'll notice something strange. Even though part of you knows you can't go back, another part of you keeps trying to. It replays old memories, old relationships, old versions of your life that felt easier. It starts telling you things like, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe you overreacted. Maybe you should just go back to how things were. And it sounds convincing. Not because it's true, but because it's familiar. Your mind is not designed to make you evolve. It's designed to keep you safe. And to your mind, what's familiar feels safe, even if it was limiting, even if it was draining, even if it was slowly disconnecting you from yourself. So when everything starts changing, your mind interprets that as danger, and it reacts. It creates doubt. It creates nostalgia. It creates emotional pull toward the past. Not because the past was better, but because it was predictable. And this is where most people get stuck. They mistake discomfort for a wrong decision. They feel the resistance and assume they're going the wrong way. So they go back to environments that no longer fit, back to patterns they already outgrew, back to versions of themselves that feel smaller just because it feels easier than facing the unknown. But here's the truth. If you feel pulled backwards, it's not a sign you should return, it's a sign you're detaching, because every level of growth requires separation from habits, from people, from identities. And your mind will try to negotiate that. It will try to convince you to keep one foot in the old world while stepping into the new. But that doesn't work, because transformation doesn't happen in half measures. You either evolve or you repeat. And the discomfort you're feeling right now, that tension between going back and moving forward, that's not confusion. That's the moment your old self realizes it's losing control. Most people misunderstand pain. They think it means something went wrong, that something broke, that they failed. So their first instinct is to escape it, distract, suppress, replace, anything to stop feeling it. But what if pain isn't there to stop you? What if it's there to correct you? Because pain has a very specific function. It shows up when something in your life is no longer aligned with who you're becoming, not who you were, not who you pretended to be, but who you're actually moving toward. And that's why it feels so intense, because it's not just emotional, it's structural. It's the friction between your old patterns and your emerging awareness. Think about it. The situations that hurt the most are usually the ones you tolerated for too long. The relationships that drain you, the environments that limit you, the habits that keep you stuck. You didn't feel the full weight of it before because you were adapted to it. But now you're not. Now you see it. And once you see it, you can't ignore it without consequence. That consequence is pain, not as punishment, but as pressure. Pressure to change. Pressure to move. Pressure to stop accepting what no longer fits. And here's the part most people avoid. Pain increases when you resist the change it's pointing to. That's why staying in the wrong place starts feeling unbearable. That's why pretending things are fine starts feeling exhausting. That's why what used to be tolerable now feels heavy. Because you're not supposed to stay there anymore. Pain is not trying to break you, it's trying to move you. But if you misinterpret it, you'll do the opposite. You'll try to fix the feeling instead of fixing the cause. You'll numb it, delay it, escape it, and end up extending the very thing that's asking to end. So the question isn't, how do I stop feeling this? The real question is, what is this pain trying to show me that I've been avoiding? Because once you answer that, pain stops being something you fear and starts becoming something you understand. You had a plan, maybe not written down, but clear in your head. How your life was supposed to go. What should happen first? What should come next? The timeline, the expectations, the outcome. And for a while, it made sense. It gave you direction. It gave you control. It made uncertainty feel manageable. But then, something happened. Things didn't go as planned. Opportunities didn't align. People didn't stay. Paths that once felt certain disappeared. And your first reaction was, something went wrong. But what if nothing went wrong? What if the real problem was the plan itself? Because most plans aren't built from clarity. They're built from limitation, from what feels safe, from what seems realistic, from what you believe is possible based on who you are right now, not based on who you're becoming. So you create a future that fits your current identity, not your potential. And without realizing it, you cap your own life. That's why, when those plans fall apart, it feels like loss. But in reality, it's expansion. Because the moment your plan breaks, you're no longer confined to it. You're no longer moving inside a structure that was designed by a smaller version of you. And yes, that feels terrifying. Because now there's no script, no clear direction, no guarantee, just possibility. And most people can't handle that. They rush to create a new plan immediately, something familiar, something controlled, just to escape the discomfort of not knowing. But that's how they stay stuck, repeating cycles, rebuilding the same life in different forms, because they never allowed themselves to exist without a plan long enough to see something bigger. Here's the truth. The life you're trying to control might be the thing limiting you. And the moment it stops working, and might be the moment your life actually starts opening. So instead of asking, how do I fix my plan? Ask yourself, what becomes possible now that my old plan is gone? Because sometimes, losing the path is the only way to find one that was actually meant for you. Here's what most people get wrong about transformation. They expect a moment, a clear turning point, a sudden realization, a day where everything finally makes sense. But that's not how it happens. The real shift is quiet. So quiet that if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. It starts in small ways. The way you react to something that used to trigger you. The way you walk away from something you would have tolerated before. The way you start questioning things you used to accept without thinking. Nothing dramatic. No big announcement. No visible milestone. Just subtle changes that slowly begin to redefine you. And this is where people get confused. Because externally, it still looks like nothing has changed. Your life might still feel uncertain. Things might still be unresolved. So your mind tells you nothing is happening, but internally, everything is rearranging. Your standards are shifting, your awareness is sharper, your tolerance for what drains you is lower. And that creates a strange feeling. You're not who you used to be anymore, but you're also not fully who you're becoming yet. So you exist in this undefined version of yourself, and it feels unstable. Not because something is wrong, but because something is being rebuilt. And here's the part most people don't realize. This phase requires patience because if you rush it, you'll try to define yourself too quickly. You'll label it, force clarity, jump into decisions just to feel certain again. But clarity doesn't come from force. It comes from alignment, and alignment takes time. So instead of asking, when will everything finally change? Start noticing, what is already changing that I haven't been giving attention to? Because transformation doesn't announce itself, it reveals itself. Slowly, quietly, consistently. And if you stay present long enough, you'll realize the shift already started. At this stage, something very subtle starts to happen. You begin to change. Your mindset shifts. Your standards rise. Your awareness expands. But there's a problem. No one else sees it yet. There's no applause, no recognition, no confirmation that you're on the right path, and that creates tension. Because for most of your life, you were conditioned to measure yourself through external feedback. Approval meant you were doing well. Validation meant you were on track. So when that disappears, you start doubting yourself. Am I doing the right thing? Is this actually working? Why does it feel like I'm alone in this? And this is the moment where most people abandon the process. Not because they're weak, but because they were never taught how to trust themselves without feedback. So they go back to what is recognized, back to what is familiar, back to what gives them immediate validation, even if it costs their long-term growth. But here's the truth. If you need constant validation to continue, you're still externally controlled, because real transformation is internal. It doesn't depend on people agreeing with you. It doesn't depend on others understanding you. It doesn't even depend on visible results at first. It depends on one thing: your ability to stay aligned with what you already know is right, even when no one confirms it. And that's rare, because it requires a different kind of strength, not loud strength. Not performative strength, quiet strength. The ability to move forward without needing to prove anything to anyone, to make decisions that don't make sense to others, but make sense to you. To trust your own perception, even when it contradicts your environment. And this is the test. Can you keep going when it feels like nothing is happening? Can you stay consistent when no one is watching? Can you trust yourself without external permission? Because if you can, that's when everything changes. Not outside, inside. And once that shift happens, you stop needing the world to tell you who you are. At this point, you can probably see it differently, or at least you're starting to, because what once felt like chaos now starts to reveal a pattern, not a comfortable one, not an easy one, but a precise one. Think about everything that's been happening, the things that ended, the things that stopped working, the things that no longer make sense. None of it was random, it was consistent. It was targeting the same thing, everything that no longer aligned with who you're becoming. And that changes everything, because now you're no longer looking at your life through the lens of loss. You're looking at it through the lens of removal. Not everything you lose is a setback. Some things are being taken out of your life because they can't go where you're going. And if they stayed, they would slow you down, confuse you, or keep you attached to a version of yourself you've already outgrown. But when you don't understand that, you resist it. You try to hold on. You try to fix. You try to recreate what's already ending. And that's where suffering intensifies, not because things are falling apart, but because you're trying to keep them together. And the moment you stop doing that, something shifts. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start asking, what is this clearing space for? That question changes your position completely, because now you're not reacting, you're observing, you're not desperate, you're aware. And awareness gives you something most people never reach: choice. The choice to let go without needing closure, the choice to move forward without needing certainty, the choice to trust without needing proof. And that's when you realize it was never about things falling apart. It was about things being rearranged in a way your old perspective couldn't understand. So here you are, in the middle of it, things unclear, parts of your life still unresolved, still feeling the weight of everything that changed. And maybe so, a part of you is still waiting for things to make sense, waiting for certainty, waiting for some kind of sign that everything is going to be okay. But this is the part no one tells you. That clarity you're waiting for, it doesn't come first. It comes after you move, after you let go, after you stop trying to go back, after you accept that the version of your life you were holding on to is no longer available to you. This is where most people hesitate. They stay in between, not fully letting go, not fully moving forward, just stuck, watching their life change without actually stepping into the change. But this moment, this exact moment you're in right now, is where everything is decided. Not by what happens to you, but by how you respond to it. You can keep trying to rebuild what's already breaking, or you can step into the unknown and allow something new to take shape. Not perfectly, not all at once, but honestly. Because the truth is, you don't need everything figured out. You don't need a full plan. You don't need guarantees. You just need to stop holding on to what you already know is over. And that takes a different kind of strength. The kind that doesn't look impressive from the outside. The kind that doesn't get recognition, but the kind that changes your entire life. Quietly, step by step, decision by decision. So if your life feels like it's falling apart right now, don't rush to fix it. Don't panic. Just pay attention. Because something is ending. But something else, something more aligned, more real, is already trying to begin. And this time, you're not becoming who you thought you should be. You're becoming who you were before you learned to be someone else.